Hey, welcome back to the Belinda Grace Translating YouTube channel. It's been a while, but I'm super excited to make another video today. Today we're actually talking about questions that I frequently get from other freelancers, particularly translators, copywriters. I just got an email the other week from a colleague, a fellow translator slash copywriter, and the questions that he sent are quite representative of the questions that I typically get from other freelancers in our industry. So I thought I would just make this video to kind of answer 3 of those really common questions in a more general sense, and hopefully I can help as many people as possible. Yeah, so let's get into it. So the email that I got is from someone called Joseph, and he writes, "Hi Belinda, I found your page on LinkedIn and I love what you're doing. Thank you very much. We work in a similar industry. I recently started out as a bilingual copywriter for English and French. I'm also a marketing transcription specialist, like me. That's really cool. I was wondering if you have any advice for anyone starting out." And then he asks 3 different questions. Number 1, what's the best practice to outsource clients? I think he means source clients or find clients. That's a very typical question, something that freelancers and people in our industry need to know. Number 2, how do I put together a portfolio with little to no experience? This could be relevant for anyone starting out, but also for people recently switching their services. For example, if you were a translator so far, but now you want to get more into copywriting, you kind of have to start over a little bit. So that's what that's really useful for. And then number 3, what are some pitfalls to look out for? I'm guessing he means overall in the freelancing world, how to market yourself, what not to do. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to your response, Joseph. Okay, so let's answer question number 1. What are some best practices to find clients? The first thing that you have to do is become super clear on the types of services that you provide and who you're doing them for. So that's the very first thing. Once you know all of that, you can start building a presence on, I would always obviously recommend LinkedIn, different platforms, whatever makes sense for your target audience. Even if your target audience might be on Instagram, have an Instagram channel to connect with people over there. And just kind of start talking about what it is that you do, how you got into it, why you're doing it. The why is a big part, because people will buy from you if they believe in your why, if they learn to trust you and like you. People buy from people that they like, right? So that's very important. And just as important as presenting yourself is to engage with other people. And by that, I mean both your peers or colleagues, because those can be fantastic for referrals, especially in the freelance world. There's nothing as valuable as a referral. But also to connect with your prospects who might turn into clients one day. Adding more connections in your industries, your target industries, is something really valuable. But all the clients that I work with today, all the direct clients, are either have found me through LinkedIn or I them. So it's very powerful. And I did a workshop on LinkedIn with pros.com in the past, and I also offer LinkedIn services, LinkedIn training, profile audits, and content writing. If you want to know more about that, I'll leave a link to that service in the description, so keep an eye out for that. Okay, the second question is, how do I put together a portfolio with little to no experience? So this can apply either if you're completely starting out in the industry, or if you've recently switched either your service or your specialization or niche. You might be lucky and you already have a couple of jobs that you can include, even if they're older. Look back at your project, see what you can maybe share. What you can also do is you can start asking for, ask your network, ask your copywriting colleagues or translation colleagues if you can do a little bit of copywriting for them, say for their website, maybe for social media. It's a great way to get started with something, to get some experience. And then the last thing is you can always, nothing's stopping you from just writing something. Imagine something that you're really excited about, a product that you really like. And write about that product. Write a product description or a sales page or an excerpt of a sales page. Whatever comes to mind to kind of practice your skill and showcase it in your portfolio. Maybe the brand who you write about will be really interested in that and consider you if you reach out to them. So you never know what can happen, but it's a good way to kind of fill your portfolio. And also, I would say include testimonials in your portfolio from people who you've done copywriting for or translation, whatever it may be. And I also think it's a really good idea to include case studies, because people want to know how your service can help them solve a problem. So show the before, during, and after. What was the situation like before your service came in? What was the process like? And what was the final result? Okay, and then the third and final question for today's video is, what are some pitfalls to look out for from the marketing point of view? So I talked about this in a video that I did with my colleague and friend Adrian over at Freelanceverse. I'm going to link that video in the description so you can check that out if you like. But one of the things that I mentioned there is that many people, especially when they start out, they think that they have to do it all and be everywhere when it comes to marketing themselves, specifically with social media or content marketing. And I'll tell you right now, this is the quickest way that you're going to burn yourself out, and you're probably not going to be successful with this approach because it's too all over the place. Like, if you think you have to be on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, have a blog, have a website, all of these things, it's too much. What I would say is start with like very bare bones, do your research, find out where your target audience is. So not necessarily your peers, don't think about them right now when you're marketing yourself, think about where your target audience, your ideal clients hang out. So for example, if you're in the tech or software space, I've heard that Twitter is a great place for that, to get information, to kind of make some connections. If you're overall in the B2B space, there's always a great place for you on LinkedIn. I've said this before, I'm singing their praises, but LinkedIn is incredibly powerful. I would always, like I said before, always have a website. Sooner or later, it's a really great place to showcase your work and have it be your own. But basically, to kind of summarize, is what really matters is that you have one long form channel, of like content channel ideally, and then one short form, and they can kind of interact. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you have a YouTube channel, then you can really pair that nicely with Instagram. So you can make longer videos to explain long form things or talk about whatever you want to talk about in your niche, and then you can take little excerpts and post them on Instagram. They work really well together. If you're more of a writer and less of a video and visual, interested person, you can have a blog and write nice articles and then share excerpts of them over on LinkedIn. You can make like a 5 tips to XYZ, turn that into 5 LinkedIn posts, for example. So that's what I would say is really important. Master one long form and one short form content channel, and then take it from there. You can always, along the path that you're on, can always maybe drop a social media channel or add one or switch, whatever it may be, but don't start with too many because you're going to burn yourself out. Start with the ones that are relevant to your niche and your target audience. Okay, that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, you can reach out, connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't already. I'd love to talk to you over there. And yeah, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!